Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Community Church. We are a welcoming congregation where we strive to transform ourselves and the world through love, wonder, and connection. My name is Eric Kraft, and I serve on the nominating committee, but I used to be chair of the finance committee, and I want to take this opportunity to say, I think for others in the congregation, that we've been thankful over the years for Raymond's assistance and ideas, and always offered with modesty and a care not to overstep his bounds. And as many of you know, he's taking a step forward in his professional life. He's with us here today with his wife Tracy, and he's going to be playing a role in today's service. Our service today is about the practice of repair, specifically how we repair our valuable relationships. But before that, I'd like to welcome Amy McKnight for an update on our auction.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I am Amy McKnight. I use she, her pronouns. I serve on the worship arts team, Baker's Dozen, the stewardship committee, handbell choir, and I am your auction chair. Woo! And I am here to give you an update on our auction that ended just over 2 weeks ago. Although we don't have all the payments in yet, we have a couple accounts still open. I can announce that the board's goal of $27,000 has been achieved. Our current auction total is $27,875. So great job, great job. Thank you to all of those who donated items and events and the bidders for supporting UUCC's goals. If I could just take a moment to thank our dear friend Raymond, whose behind-the-scenes work should definitely be recognized, especially, in many, many avenues, but especially in auction. In the very early months of 2020, we remember that, right? I took on auction. So as we know, by March of 2020, it was quite clear auction would never be or look the exact same way again. Our in-person, lively, one-night party would not be able to happen as we know it. So the task of researching and finding alternate solutions began. Can I tell you, there were many of our UU sister churches that gave up at this time. They just said, we can't do anything, so we're not going to. Well, that's not how UUCC rolls. Auctria became our current auction software and our answer. I remember those early days in the spring of 2020 as Diane Pominski, Raymond, and I created a test auction that's still actually in the Auctria software we have to practice on. So we made fake items and fake names, and we bid on things, and we actually, I'll bid $1, buy it now. And then it was Raymond, where'd the money go? I don't know, let me go find it, So we had to figure all that out. It was definitely a team effort, and I'm so appreciative of it for putting up with, during the stewardship highest demands. I'm sure Tracy's like, oh no, it's September, here comes auction. And I'm like, every week, e-news, Stew News, Facebook posts. So I'm sure you're glad that part's over. So thank you, Raymond. Your passion for us is very apparent. We appreciate everything you've done for us, personally and through the church spiritually, and hope to see you guys at the annual barbecue every year.
Whether you are here for the first time or the 1,000th time, welcome. Whatever you are facing in your own life, welcome. This is a place where we try our best to be real with one another, to get through hard things together, and to remind ourselves and one another of the values that ground and center us, that motivate and move us. Whoever you are, whatever your faith journey, whomever you love, you are welcome here. We welcome all who seek to know the sacred and all who seek to make our world more just. Our commitment is to be together in covenant, so please join me in our affirmation of who this community is, beginning with that all-important word, Love is the message of this church, and service is our way. This is our great covenant together, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth and love, and to help one another. Let's join in singing our opening hymn, I Know This Rose Will Open, number 396 in our gray hardcover hymnal. Please rise. We'll sing it once all together, and then once in a round, starting with this side of the room for the first part of the round, my right.
Hi, good morning. I'm Reverend Sarah. I use she, her pronouns. I will invite you to join in our chalice lighting words while Jamie, my son, comes to light the chalice today. We light this flame to light the way home for all who need our love. All right. Thank you. I invite you now into a time of prayer or meditation, finding a comfortable place for your body, whatever that shows up for you. Noticing your breathing, finding your center. Take a moment now to just be in this stillness. In the next few moments, take time to think about the last few weeks and how you're feeling. Where do you locate that feeling in your body? Is it tense or loose? Imagine that your hands are full of warmth and kindness. Imagine reaching out your hands to rest on the shoulder of someone that you love. Now imagine the warm, healing hand of someone you love resting on your shoulder. Imagine their face, their voice, what it's like to be with them on a great day. And breathe in that feeling. And on your next exhale, send that warm feeling to the place in your body that's been holding all your feelings for the last few weeks. Let warm love loosen the tension and hold close those parts that have been too loose. Imagine that love flowing through you and out into the world. Amen. As we come together every Sunday from our own separate lives and our own separate homes, we bring with us a variety of joys and sorrows, fears and hopes. We take time in our service now to honor these big feelings together. We share this time as a contemplative time, each of us given an opportunity to share within this community what lifts us up and what weighs us down. Today, we will light candles, we will light candles of joy and hope to lift up the bright things in our lives, and we will also place stones to hold our sorrows and fears, to ease the weights from our spirits. So in a moment, I will invite folks to come forward, but first, if you're online with us, please use the chat to participate by writing your name and if you want a stone or a candle, and we'll add your stone or candle to our altar. And if you're in the room and you would like someone to light a candle for your joy, please raise your hand. Beth. Kendall. Peter. Michelle. Raymond. Porter. Adrian. And me. If you would like someone to place a stone for you, please raise your hand. Adrian, Jamil, Ian, Kendall, Raymond, Gail, Carolyn, Art, can't remember her name, and John. We've got a good start going here. If you would like to participate in the ritual yourself, please rise. Come around here to light a candle. Come around this way to place a stone, and you can switch over. shared but shared. And we'll light one final candle for all the joys still in our heart. And now I invite you to sing our song prayer response, meditation on breathing.
Good morning. My name is Adina Danuf. I use she or they pronouns, and I am your Director of Lifespan Religious Exploration. And that was a mouthful. And we are entering a week where many people in the United States try to think a lot about gratitude and thankfulness. And when I think about something that I have been thankful for here at UUCC, I think of our longtime office administrator, Raymond Cady. I have clapping in the script later. Raymond has been journeying with UUCC for 8 amazing and crazy years. He has helped UUCC keep finances together, as Amy shared. He has made sure our building was in shape. He has answered countless phone calls, made time for committee meetings and work luncheons, and shared his wonderful voice with us in holiday shows and Sunday services. He's made slideshows and the order of service and website updates and send out the weekly e-news that keeps you informed about what UCC is up to. And speaking of that, in his time here, Raymond has conquered mountains, and I mean mountains of emails. Totally made up fact here, but I bet if you printed out every email that Raymond has ever sent or answered in his time here, it would fill up this room, the whole downstairs, the whole back lot, and maybe all the way down to, okay, I'm getting carried away. Just know it was a lot of emails. And Raymond has done a whole lot for this community, and he has always done so with a smile and often a joke, too. Raymond has been with UUCC through many changes and transitions. He's supported us through 3 ministers, 2 music professionals, a global pandemic, and he was a great help to me when I had 3 parental leaves. He has been with us the whole way. Now is our chance to be with Raymond as he experiences a change and transition in his own life and work. So I've come up with a way for us all to be a part of this next step with Raymond, and no, that doesn't mean leave UUCC and start attending this new church. Instead, we're going to send a part of ourselves with him so he can carry us forward through these next transitions and all of the things that will happen in life beyond UUCC. So there's some basket holders who are just waiting for me to say, start the baskets. As a staff person, many times that I have done anything that helps keep UUCC machine moving, like turn in a receipt, or send a submission for the e-news, or request a room for an event, or even turn in my own timesheet, right? I turn in my own timesheet, and I am met with a reply from Raymond that says, thank you. So now, Raymond, it's our time to say thank you, and share our love and blessings with you, and send you, and Tracy, and Noah, and your mom, and everybody else along on their way. So I'm gonna invite you here, and Reverend Sarah is gonna help us with the next step.
No, it's a surprise. Oh, look at that. I gotta look. I love it. Nice. Okay, when you all come up, make sure to look at Raymond's 2 different shoes, okay? And tell him how beautiful they look. So we are offering this beautiful shadow box as a gift for Raymond, and we're gonna fill it with our love and our blessings. The baskets are being passed, and please take one, pass it quickly. There's not a lot of choice. They're pretty much all the same. So make sure that everyone in the congregation who wants a stone has one. And as you receive your little rock, I want you to put it in your hands and think about all the well wishes and blessings, the jokes, the hopes, the dreams, and the love you have for Raymond and his future. If you've never actually met Raymond before, this is Raymond. Just know that he has touched your life at UUCC in some and likely many ways. And if it's your first Sunday with us, just know he's a great guy and he helped get you here, so. Now I want you to send all those feelings, all that support into this rock as you hold it in your hands. And if you're joining us on Zoom, then you can send it through the air. Finally, we're gonna come forward and place these stones into the shadow box for Raymond so that he can take care and take all these well wishes and love with him. Remembering that UUCC may not be his spiritual home, but he will always have a home at UUCC. So I'll ask that we start in the back with Adina, and if you do want to come forward, we'll start in the back row, come up through the middle, both sides up through the middle, return through the outside. If you'd prefer not to come up, send it up with someone else. Go.
This is for the people on Zoom.
Thank you.
To finalize our ritual and our blessing, let us share with Raymond the song that we sometimes use to bless our children and youth as they head to class. Go now in peace. The lyrics are found on the screen. Amen. And thank you for being a part of this ritual and blessing for our dear Raymond. One final story to end my time up here. When Raymond first started here, he made it a point to say in each staff meeting these words, "I love my job." Well, Raymond, today was our chance to say this job loves you too. Round of applause. You know, the funny thing is he said he didn't want to be made the center of attention, and I'm sorry, but I had already planned this. So you may go back to your seat. You may be seated. I now invite the children and youth to head with me to class, and y'all get to sing again, a different song this time. Thank you.
This month's fourth Sunday Share the Plate organization is Families Forward Virginia, Virginia's leading organization dedicated to disrupting the cycles of child abuse, neglect, and poverty. Jamia Crockett, CEO of Families Forward Virginia, will speak to us for a few moments.
Good morning, friends. It's so good to see you all's beautiful faces. I have been just overwhelmed with community. You guys welcomed myself and my family with open arms, so I'm really appreciative and grateful for the love and the peace and the breathing and the candles and the stones and all the things that bring us together and connect us when we think about what it means to be good humans, on this earth. As you heard, I am Jamia Crockett. Everyone calls me Mia, so now that we're friends, you can call me Mia from now on. I have been the CEO of Families Forward Virginia for about 3 years, going on my 4th year, and one of the things that brought me to this work was this idea of how can we, as a community, ensure that all families in Virginia are actually thriving, where we live, work, and play in real life, in real time, all the time. And when I came to this work, I came in from healthcare, and I was just like, I got to get closer to communities. What does it mean to really be healthy in community? What does it mean to really have supports in community? What does it look like to feel connected to resources that may be available in communities? And so what Families Forward does, we are the state chapter for Prevent Child Abuse America. So we're part of a national network of keeping people healthy where people live, work, and play. How do we support each other in real life, in real time? And what kind of resources and supports do people need to really be able to thrive in the Commonwealth? So people say, well, what does that mean that you do? And so sometimes I say, well, we're the backbone organization of a network of over 60 affiliates in the Commonwealth. We have some locations here in Richmond, we've got some locations in Southwest Virginia, we've got some locations up in Northern Virginia, we've got some locations down at Virginia Beach. So people say, so what does that mean? What do you really do? And so I would like to kind of put this analogy out there. So we're from a Lego family, okay? Me and my kids, we are Lego people. And so when you get to a certain level, you become a master builder. That means you can look at any Lego and figure how to make amazing creations. And so one of the things I thought about when I'm like tinkering with Legos and be like, what do we do with this little square thing? And no one knows what to do, so we just stick it on the thing, and then, oh, now it's a box, now it's a missile, now it's a ship. One of the things that we do at Families Forward Virginia, we really build bridges with our programs. And so we have over 7 or 8 different programs that we do that really help to reduce child abuse and neglect in the Commonwealth. 3 of those programs are our home visiting programs. Those programs are when folks come to your house and help you decide what you want to do to help your family thrive. What are those success stories that you have? And then we help leverage those strengths and say, you can do this. Parenting is hard. I'm a single mom with 3 kids. Every day I'm like, what am I doing and what am I not doing? And you can look at my kids and they're like, Mom, you're embarrassing us. That's part of my job. That's my badge of honor. If I can say I've embarrassed my kids, then I'm like, check that off. So we know parenting doesn't come with a handbook. Children don't come with handbooks. So how do we support each other so that we can have thriving families? What does that look like? So with our home visiting programs, we do have people come and say, you know what, let me just talk to you about what you need. Other programs that we have also include parenting support groups through our Circle of Parents. That's really where parents get to come and just say, OMG, it's Tuesday and my children have eaten all the groceries. And we got to figure out how we're going to feed each other for the rest of the week. It can't just be sausages and hot dogs. It does need to be a meal, right? So parents come together to talk about things that are stressing us out. And we all know what those stressors look like. We're living in a very tumultuous time. So being able to connect and talk to one another and say, you know what, this is what I do. Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches sometimes is dinner. It is what it is. Are we fed? Yes. Do we have a roof over our head? Yes. Are our bills paid? Most of them, hopefully, yes. And then we can go to sleep and do it again the next day, right? So parents, we have parent support groups that do that. We also do child sexual abuse prevention as well, because our children are our most vulnerable and most important stakeholders in community. So what are the things that we're doing to ensure their safety and well-being? We also have family resource centers, which is the community hub. So, you know, UUCC could be an FRC or a family resource center where people come in to get the stuff that they need. Some family resource centers have workforce training. Some family resource centers do parent support groups, outreach, after-school care, you name it. The FRC is in community, led by community leaders to say this is what the community needs to be successful. It's not someone coming down from the state, descending on community and say, this is what you need to be successful. It's like, no, communities, we know what we need, right? It's just linking together. So we build bridges, right, in our programs to connect families to resources. And then I say, we also do ramps. And you know what a ramp looks like, right? It's like the wedge. And if you keep going up a ramp, you are supported along the way. So a lot of our programs help and walk alongside with families to support them at every stage of that success trajectory, whatever that looks like for that family. We've got programs that help do that as well. So that's a lot. So I say I build bridges, I help build ramps, and I use community, folks like yourselves, to help spread the good news about family well-being. It's not always about keeping people out of the child welfare system, which we do want to do, right? We know foster care can be really hard, and we know when folks get locked into these systems, a lot of us don't make it out of these systems, or we fall in the cracks between the systems. That's also scary, right? So what we try to do at Families Forward Virginia is say, how can we build bridges to connect people to the resources they need? How do we support families wherever they are in that trajectory by being a ramp support system? How can we bridge the gaps so that people don't fall in the cracks and our most marginalized communities can really thrive where they live, work, and play? So that's what Families Forward is all about. I appreciate you all's attention and your laughter. I try to be as funny as I can, but then also kind of balance it out with like technical work language. So I appreciate you all giving me this opportunity for my family to come commune with you. I feel like the stones and the candles definitely resonate. I'm a candle person at home. I got lots of candles. So I just feel like I'm at home here, and I really appreciate the opportunity to speak to you all about the great work that we're doing, and then offer you the opportunity, invite you all to come along in this journey. What we're doing is important work, but we can't do it without all of you. It's prevention, but it's prevention in partnership. I can't do it alone. My affiliates can't do it alone. We all can't do it alone, but we all have a stone. We all have a candle. So how can we pass that stone of good to the next family that might need us? How do we light a candle in a dark path for someone to get to another space so that they can understand how to live, get out of those dark spaces? How do we support each other with the work that we're all doing in the community? So thank you very much. Did I do okay, Eric? Okay, so I'll turn this back over to Eric, and thank you all so much.
Thank you, Mia. Today, all undesignated collections will be given to support Families Forward Virginia. Please join me in this offering and acknowledging all the ways we give to this church and this world. May we give in love and in hope. Thank you for your offering in all the ways you give to our life and ministry with your time, talent, treasure, and trust. Together, our gifts allow us to expand and strengthen the tapestry of love, wonder, and connection that blesses this church and transforms us and our world.
Before I do the reading, I have a couple things I'd like to share with you. Number one, in my faith tradition, I'm a Baptist, a good Baptist, by the way. I always have to say that. I'm a Baptist, but, ... My wife says I'm a Baptist, but with two T's. So, anyway. I really appreciate you all sneaking this service in on me and making me feel very blessed. Thank you. But I do owe you an apology. I came here in 2016 and Trump was elected. I'm leaving you in 2024 and the son of a Baptist is elected again. I tried my best. I count absentee ballots. I had extras printed, and it did not work. So, thank you for giving me a place to call home, a place that has loved me, appreciated me, and given me a raise every year. Our reading this morning is a place to forgive and to be forgiven by, a place to forgive and to be forgiven, comma, by Kathy Cartwright Chow. Did I get the comma right, Wendy? Okay, good. For those we have hurt in any way, whether through words or deed or thoughts, here is a place to forgive and to be forgiven. For the excuses we have made just to be right, here is a place to forgive and to be forgiven. For the blame we have placed on someone else again and again, here is a place to forgive and to be forgiven. For passing up the opportunity to help because we were afraid, here is a place to forgive and to be forgiven. For hiding the truth from someone, here is a place to forgive and to be forgiven. For working beyond the anger and resentment, here is a place to forgive and to be forgiven. For the times I have not felt heard, here is a place to forgive and to be forgiven. Forgiveness is never easy, whether for yourself or someone else. But hear me now. Here is a place to forgive and to be forgiven. In my Baptist tradition, I'm an ordained deacon and sometimes I preach. And let me just say, I kind of like it up here. So anytime you want a good news message and a little bit about Jesus, you give me a call.
I am well aware of the time. I don't know if you are. Okay, I won't tell you. This month's theme, we've been talking about the practice of repair. We've not talked about it directly, but we've talked about hope, we've talked about courage, about being where we are in our feelings. We've mentioned holding close who and what we need to hold close. And now we need to talk about repairing relationships. I bet you think that I'm going to say that liberal Democrats need to make nice and repair our relationships with Republicans. Well, you're wrong. I'm not going to say that, not today. I'll probably have to say it at some point, but I'm not ready to say that yet. Those relationships aren't ready to be repaired yet, at least not in my eyes. There's not enough humility and vulnerability on either side yet. There we go. What I am going to talk about is repairing the relationships we have with people who are close to us. Repairing the relationship with a friend who hurt your feelings, a coworker you let down, or a fellow congregant who did something to break your trust. I'm talking about repairing relationships with this community, within your families, and then we can even maybe start to begin to repair relationships beyond. First, I need to mention that I'm not saying that we need to repair all relationships that have rifts. There are very many instances where putting up strong boundaries and even cutting people out of our lives is the right thing to do. I will always advocate for leaving abusive relationship situations, for breaking off toxic friendships, and quitting unhealthy work environments. But when a relationship still has value to you, and you don't want to just throw it away, that's where repair comes in. When your grandmother's antique lamp breaks, do you throw it out or do you repair it? When your favorite pair of jeans wears out in the bum, do you toss them or do you darn them? When your beloved childhood lovey teddy bear or blanket started to wear out, you bet you didn't just chuck it in the trash. Maybe you begged a parent to sew it or even wash it, add more stuffing. Maybe you just kept loving it exactly the way it was, even in its broken, its dirty realness. I bet some of you even still have your beloved object, even if it's in storage. Yeah, I see some hands. I know you. Sometimes our beloved objects are beyond our skills to get them repaired, so we need to bring it to an expert. I don't know if you've seen this show on PBS called The Repair Shop. Ooh, I hear some yeses. It's a sweet, gentle, slow-moving show about people in England who bring their beloved family heirlooms that they've gotten a little ratty or they've broken to a group of craftspeople who work lovingly to restore these items of value to their owners. They bring in great-grandpa's clock that stopped running 60 years ago but held so many memories of a person they love that they want it to work again, to relive those memories. They bring in their childhood bear or rocking horse to make it possible for their grandchildren to play with them and pass them down to their children. They tell their stories and they offer their broken items over to be repaired. These items they bring have value. And sure, they might have a monetary value, but the real value is the way that it makes them feel. It brings back memories of a happy time, or it gives the possibility of being remembered long into the future. That value is so much more than momentary. It's a long-term value related to the past and to the future. So when you imagine your relationships, Which ones hold that kind of value? They have wonderful memories and so much potential for the future. Take the measure of it. Which ones hold that kind of value but are struggling right now? Something is off. A trust was broken, or your feelings were hurt. Maybe you were harmed, or maybe you did the harm. Maybe it was years ago. Maybe it was yesterday. But something stands between you and the person you want to be close to. But you don't know where to start. Where can you start when you are scared or ashamed? Where do you start when you've been hurt so many times before? How do you end with a broken heart? Well, maybe you start by saying, ouch. Or maybe you start by saying, oops. When I was a member of a youth group at my home UU church, every year we'd start out by making a covenant with one another. This was a brainstormed set of rules we would agree to, how we wanted to be with one another in our group time. Every time we came together, we could look over at the big poster size flip chart sheet on the wall and be reminded of how we agreed to be together. Scrawled in our teenage handwriting would be no judgment or share time speaking. When I got older and became an advisor, the practice usually had some sort of shorthand language like Vegas rules, meaning what's shared in youth group stays in youth group. And step up, step back, meaning if you're usually someone who talks a lot, hold back a little and make space for those who don't to come forward. We usually also added oops and ouch. It means when you see someone say or do something that hurts someone, yourself included, you say ouch. You stop what's happening and you say, someone's hurt, let's make sure they're okay. And the person who did the hurting gets the chance to say oops, meaning, oops, I didn't realize that I hurt you, or oops, I am not being my best self today. And then they get to apologize. Oops, ouch, is a vital piece of covenant. It's the accountability part. It's the only way we're able to repair relationships when they get broken. And this is the tricky part of covenant too, because we can have all the rules posted on the wall about how we're going to be together, but it's easy to forget them. It's easy to wander off the path with good intentions, and we need to remind each other with kindness, with curiosity, with vulnerability, that we make promises, these rules, and then when we break these promises, we break each other's hearts. And not only that, but we have to hear the ouch for what it is, a request for repair, and not make it what it's not. An ouch is not an accusation to defend ourselves from. When someone says, ouch, we don't shout, that wasn't me. It didn't hurt that bad. Don't be a baby, right? We say, oops, I didn't mean to hurt you. How can I repair our connection? In her book, Incantations for Rest, Etna O. Danner shares this litany of oops and ouch. I receive your ouch with openness and curiosity. I receive your oops with acceptance and empathy. I offer my ouch with hope and trust. I offer my oops with humility and courage. I release my ouch with purpose, with immeasurable faith. I release my oops with purpose and love. I release your ouch with promise. I release your oops with my eyes and heart open. I know it's easy to say, just talk about it, but it's not so easy to do the actual talking. Sometimes it seems like it'd be so much easier if we just didn't talk about anything important. It'd be so much easier if we just pretend like these big feelings aren't right under the surface. Let's just gloss over the hurt with some pretty sheen of festive paint and go back to everything being hunky-dory. And honestly, many of you are probably going to have a big meal this week with folks who've lived this way their whole lives, pretending that the conflicts that have shaped their relationships just don't exist. But we can't have real relationships when we don't talk about real things. The longer you sweep things under the rug, the higher that bump is, so you can trip right over it. This is why so many Thanksgiving meals are ruined when someone finally can't hold in their resentment or anger anymore, or shame, and they explode at each other. It's scary when feelings blow up, too big to hide anymore. But it doesn't have to go that way. We can choose to do it another way. We can choose to say the hard things gently. Because, as Adrienne Marie Brown says, the harder the things are to say, the more necessary they are to say. It is scary as hell to be vulnerable and to speak our pain aloud to someone who has hurt us. Of course, it's not worth it if the relationship isn't worth saving. But when you value someone, their connection to you and your past and your vision for the future, when you value that relationship, it's worth it to say, I am hurt and I need your help to repair this relationship. And you know what? It's really, really hard to hear that you've hurt someone you care about. It's really hard not to get defensive and pull away because the shame tells you that you're not worthy. It's really hard to admit when we've done something wrong. Rabbi Danya Rutenberg agrees, but she tells us to do it anyway. In her book, Repentance and Repair, she says, we need to take the responsibility for our actions. She says, addressing harm is possible only when we bravely face the gap between the story we tell about ourselves, the one in which we're the hero, fighting the good fight, doing our best, behaving responsibly and appropriately in every context, and the reality of our actions. We need to summon the courage to cross the bridge over that cognitively dissonant gulf and face who we are, who we have been, even if that threatens our story of ourselves. It's the only way we can even begin to undertake any possible repair and do better next time. And she says, in her opinion, that's what makes a true hero. Can you show up to your relationships, plural, as your true self? The one that has been hurt and the one who has caused harm? Can you hold your broken heart out to the one who's hurt you and shown them the cracks? Can you accept the broken heart of your friend and say, I've done wrong, I'm sorry, I can do better? Can you look over at the face of the person asking you to forgive them and see their whole, worthy, dirty, but beautiful self? Are you that kind of hero? I urge you to find out. And now Jonathan will teach us a new tune for the Emily Dickinson poem, If I Can Save One Heart from Breaking.
Hello.
Hello.
So yeah, this is a simple, beautiful piece of poetry. So I wrote a hopefully simple tune that I will teach you. So I'll sing one phrase and then I'll ask you to repeat after me. If I can stop
I invite you now to reach out to those near you. When you go, be that hero. When you go, go in peace. Salam and shalom.
Leave this place knowing that you are good and that you are loved.
Blessed be.
Take your dark and your light and your love from this place. Share them with the world. It stays safe until we meet again. Amen.
See you in coffee hour.